something happened on January 15th, 2025, and nothing has been the same since. Until that day, aliens were just theories, stories, possibilities. There was no hard proof, just hope or fear. But now, that uncertainty is gone. Because on that day, scientists detected something so unexpected, so out of place, that it sent shockwaves through the global scientific community. They weren't looking for it, and they weren't ready for it. What they found was not radiation, not noise, but actual signals coming from within our solar system. Signals that appeared to be sent by someone. At first, experts thought it might be a satellite, a glitch, a reflection, maybe even a rogue probe. But after deeper analysis, that possibility was ruled out. No known satellite could have reached the region from which these signals originated. And then came the part that truly terrified them: a pattern. The signals pulsed every 21.8 minutes, like a cosmic heartbeat. Steady, intentional. Elon Musk broke his silence, saying that this was not a joke. So now the world is asking, what exactly was detected? Where is it coming from? And most chilling of all, who is sending it? In this video, we uncover the full story and why this discovery might be the beginning of something much bigger than anyone expected. Let's get started. On January 15, 2025, scientists at the Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia detected something that would soon send ripples through the global astrophysics community. A repeating radio pulse had been caught coming from deep within our galaxy, and it wasn't just any radio noise. It was precise, rhythmic, and entirely unexpected. Each pulse lasted only half a second, but it returned every 21.8 minutes, like the ticking of a perfectly engineered clock. After several cycles, the scientific community quickly ruled out random cosmic noise. This wasn't an equipment error or a fluke. It was deliberate, repetitive, and eerily consistent. The discovery was soon classified as Fast Radio Burst 2025 NR, a new kind of FRB that broke all previously known patterns. Fast radio bursts, or FRBs, are normally chaotic and unpredictable. They arrive without warning and typically last just milliseconds. Most only occur once, never to be heard again. Occasionally, astronomers have recorded repeating FRBs, but they have still maintained some level of randomness in strength or duration. This new signal, however, was different. It followed a pattern so precise that many scientists compared it to an artificial clock. For something to emit radio bursts exactly every 1,308 seconds, down to the decimal, suggests one of two things. Either a brand new type of astrophysical object has been discovered, or the pulse is the result of intelligent design. Naturally, comparisons were drawn to known celestial emitters like pulsars. Pulsars are the ultra-dense, rapidly rotating remains of exploded stars. They emit pulses of radiation from their magnetic poles, and when those poles face Earth, we receive a brief flash of radio waves. But here's the problem. Most pulsars rotate incredibly fast, sometimes several times per second. The slowest known pulsars operate on the scale of seconds, not tens of minutes. If something is spinning once every 21.8 minutes, it would be far too weak to emit a signal as powerful and coherent as FRB 2025 NR. That contradiction is part of what makes this discovery so intriguing. The math doesn't add up. A source this slow shouldn't be this bright. Some suggested it might be a magnetar, a rare and extremely magnetic type of neutron star known for violent flares and bursts of energy. Magnetars are capable of producing emissions so strong they can disrupt satellites and communication systems on Earth. However, magnetars are notoriously unstable. Their emissions tend to be erratic and irregular, not punctual. They flare up without warning and cool down unpredictably. No known magnetar has ever been observed emitting with such periodic reliability. If FRB 2025 NR is indeed a magnetar, then it must be one with properties that fundamentally contradict what we thought we knew about these stellar monsters. Adding to the mystery was the frequency at which the signal was received, 1.4 gigahertz. This is a highly specific band of the electromagnetic spectrum known as the L band. It's commonly used in human technology like satellites, aircraft navigation systems, and even some Wi-Fi signals operate in this range. In contrast, natural astrophysical radio emissions usually occur at much broader, less specific frequencies. The use of a narrow, consistent band like 1.4 gigahertz is incredibly rare in nature, but extremely common in man-made communication systems. That makes the signal's characteristics eerily familiar. If one were trying to send a message across space using the kind of frequencies Earth-based engineers would recognize, this is exactly the frequency they would use. The location from which the signal originated only deepened the mystery. FRB 2025 NR was traced back to the Norma arm of the Milky Way, which is a dense, spiral section of the galaxy known for its thick molecular clouds and high stellar activity. It's an area notoriously difficult to observe due to the sheer amount of gas and dust that blocks optical and infrared telescopes. It was only thanks to a recent $15 million upgrade to the Green Bank telescope that scientists were even able to detect something from that region in the first place. This raises another critical question. How many more signals like this have gone undetected simply because we lacked the right tools? Following the discovery, an unprecedented global response unfolded. Major observatories across the world quickly turned their attention to the signal. NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite confirmed it from orbit. Australia's CSIRO deployed its teams to monitor the frequency. South Africa's Meerkat telescope, which covers 8 kilometers with 64 high-precision dishes, was used to track the consistency of the pulse. Canada's CHIME observatory cross-referenced the timing and confirmed it matched exactly. China's 500-meter FAST telescope and India's GMRT followed up with their own confirmations. Even Russia's Ratan 600, reactivated for this purpose, joined the effort. The coordination across these nations showed how serious the discovery was. This wasn't an anomaly. It was something new, something that didn't behave like anything we have cataloged before. What makes this event so significant is not just the existence of the signal, but what it might represent. The sheer precision of the burst interval of 21.8 minutes, not a second more or less, challenges everything we know about natural sources of radio emissions. If it is natural, it may indicate a previously unknown class of neutron star, black hole binary, or even some other exotic object. But if it's artificial, then the discussion becomes even more serious. A perfectly timed, high-frequency radio pulse from 15,000 light-years away, in a frequency range we use for communication, sounds more like a beacon than a burst. And if it's a beacon, someone or something may be out there sending it. As of now, no one has declared that aliens are responsible. But what's equally important is that no one has been able to prove they aren't. The scientific method relies on ruling out all natural explanations, and right now, every known natural explanation either collapses under scrutiny or introduces paradoxes. There is currently no satisfactory answer. It's as if the universe is asking us a question we can't yet understand. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. What shocked analysts wasn't just the consistency, but the strength of the signal. Indeed, it was faint, measured at just 0.1 Jansky, but not erratic. There was no fade-out, no deviation in rhythm. That kind of stability in a signal coming from over 15,000 light-years away is almost unheard of. Natural sources just don't behave like this. Even in the case of highly energetic bodies like magnetars, their emission patterns are messy, full of noise and irregularity. This one was different. It had purpose, order, and the kind of consistency that felt engineered. Faced with something they couldn't explain, scientists did what they always do first: look for natural explanations. The first to step forward was Dr. Emily Petro of Australia's CSIRO, who studied magnetars, capable of releasing immense amounts of energy in a single burst. But while they are powerful, they are also known for their unpredictability. The pulse pattern in FRB 2025 NR was simply too disciplined, too regular, and too perfectly timed to align with how magnetars behave. Furthermore, surveys of the NORMA arm using existing stellar catalogs didn't reveal any known active magnetars in the region. And even if a new one existed, its behavior would have to be so outside known parameters that it would essentially redefine the category altogether. Other researchers propose that the signal might originate from a binary black hole system, which is two black holes orbiting each other, releasing bursts of energy each time material is exchanged or accreted. These systems are known to be violent and energetic, sometimes releasing massive amounts of energy. But there's a major problem with this theory. Systems like these emit strong X-rays. NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory, which scanned the NORMA arm shortly after the detection of FRB 2025 NR, detected nothing unusual. No flares, no heat signature, no X-ray spikes. Without those, the black hole theory would lose its foundation. Then came a stranger possibility: a rogue planet with an extremely powerful magnetic field. Some hypothesized that such a planet, drifting alone through the galaxy, might somehow create bursts of radio frequency through an exotic electromagnetic mechanism. But here, too, the theory collapsed under scrutiny. No infrared or optical signature was found. In space, even a planet emits some form of residual heat, but this object, if it exists, is invisible. The total lack of any detection in other wavelengths casts serious doubt on the rogue planet idea. If it were real, we should have seen some trace of it. But we haven't. And so, as each natural theory struggled and failed to fully account for what was being observed, attention slowly began to shift toward the one explanation that no one wanted to say out loud: the possibility that this signal might be artificial. In a landmark interview, Dr. Jill Tarter, one of the most respected names in SETI and co-founder of the Institute, finally broke the silence. She pointed directly to the signal's periodicity, saying, "This kind of rhythmic regularity is what we expect when we look for signs of intelligent engineering." Her words were not wild speculation. They were rooted in decades of scientific methodology. When radio astronomers look for evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence, they seek precisely this: signals that repeat with unnatural precision, that don't drift, and that exist in frequencies useful for communication. Tarter's comments were further backed by previous peer-reviewed studies. A 2023 Science Advances paper analyzed all known FRBs and found that about 5% showed signs of artificial modulation. This meant slight variances in signal strength and timing that suggested they were being controlled, not randomly generated. Another 2022 Nature Communications paper took it further, using Bayesian models to estimate that the statistical probability of such rhythmic, repeating signals being artificially generated was roughly 10%. These are not alien-confirming numbers, but they do point to one thing. The behavior of FRB 2025 NR sits squarely in the category of things we don't understand and things that might not be natural. If this is an artificial signal, then this changes everything. For one, the signal is strong enough to be detected from 15,000 light-years away. To achieve that, the source would either have to be astronomical in scale or engineered specifically to be found. It is transmitting in a frequency humans use for communication. It is repeating in a rhythm that humans associate with design. And, most chilling of all, it is consistent enough to suggest not only intent, but potentially surveillance. If the signal is designed to be found, then the sender may very well be watching to see who notices and who replies. This raises the unsettling concept of a coded message. Could the pulse carry data? Could it include instructions, algorithms, or self-replicating information? A 2023 study published in Nature warned that any technologically generated signal from an advanced civilization could contain digital pathogens, data payloads that, if interpreted or processed incorrectly, could corrupt our systems or worse. It's the interstellar equivalent of a virus hidden in an email attachment. That's not just theory anymore. It's part of NASA's actual risk assessment protocols in the Interstellar Messaging Risk Matrix, a framework used to determine how we should handle unknown signals from space. We are, quite literally, at the threshold of needing cybersecurity for the cosmos. And it's not just the scientists who are paying attention anymore. Governments are mobilizing. The Pentagon is actively monitoring developments, given the potential national security implications. NASA has dedicated $1.2 billion of its 2025 astrophysics budget to further investigating anomalies like FRB 2025-NR. SpaceX has proposed a $500 million expansion to Starlink, with the goal of creating a dedicated satellite network for real-time FRB triangulation. The United Nations Science Committee has pledged $5 million toward creating an international task force to coordinate detection and response strategies. This is no longer a fringe conversation about little green men. It's become a central issue in global science and diplomacy. So what comes next? The timeline is unfolding fast. In 2026, the launch of the next-generation Very Large Array will provide a resolution 10 times greater than current instruments, allowing us to peer into the Norma Arm like never before. SpaceX, meanwhile, is racing to deploy infrastructure that could make real-time cosmic signal tracking a reality within the next 3 years. Right now, every radio telescope on Earth is pointed toward one location, the Norma Arm, where FRB 2025-NR continues to beat its mechanical heart against the void. A region once dismissed as too dusty, too distant, and too irrelevant is now the focus of the entire planet's attention. Because if this signal is real, and it is artificial, then it doesn't just rewrite a chapter in astronomy. It rewrites the book of human history. And in that case, we didn't just hear a signal. We just received a message. Now that humanity has potentially received a signal of artificial origin, something unprecedented becomes possible. A reply. It would involve creating a carefully encoded signal, something not only scientifically rich but universally comprehensible, and beaming it back on the same 1.4 gigahertz frequency directly to the source of FRB 2025-NR. The process is technically feasible. Radio telescopes like Green Bank, Meerkat, and China's FAST are not just passive listeners, they can also transmit. With the right configuration, these observatories can fire powerful radio messages across the galaxy, effectively knocking on the door that just sent us a signal. But this raises a new layer of scientific protocol. What exactly do we say? SETI scientists and astrobiologists have long debated how to formulate a first contact message. It must avoid cultural bias, must be based on mathematical or physical constants, and must assume no shared language. In 1974, we sent the Arecibo message, a binary-coded signal with basic data about Earth's chemistry and life. But that was sent blindly. This time, we wouldn't be shouting into the void. We would be responding to a very specific voice in the dark. If the senders are indeed intelligent, they might be waiting to see if anyone hears them. By responding, we begin what could be the first cosmic handshake, a test of whether communication is possible across thousands of light years. Scientists will be watching not just for replies, but for changes in the pattern of the original signal, for echoes, disruptions, or even new messages layered within the same frequency. What do you think? Are aliens trying to send humans signs of their existence? Isn't it true that this discovery has turned aliens into something that exists but we don't know about, rather than a fantasy? In the comment section below, share your thoughts on what if humans contacted aliens and what would happen. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.